Hey, welcome back to another fan-made moveset for Smash. Now, before I get into talking about today's character, I want to just mention 2017 in general was one of the best, if not the best, year for indie games I think we've ever had. I mean, in one year we had What Remains of Edith Finch, we had A Hat in Time, we had Cuphead, we had Golf Story, we had Tacoma, and of course, we had Hollow Knight, and probably a dozen more that I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head. The Sexy Brutale, there you go. Hollow Knight was one of the examples of a Kickstarter gone extremely right. This game is thrilling. I've never actually been a huge Metroidvania fan, with a few exceptions, but man, I loved Hollow Knight. Every single moment of it, that I wasn't trying to smash my face through the controller. I was just having a great time. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Now, like usual, I'll start off with the tilts. Really, this moveset didn't require a whole lot of creativity on my part. Hollow Knight already has so many moves and so many movements that just fit right in with Smash that it was really just a matter of putting it down visually. So for the neutral, it's just going to be a basic sort of nail swing, give a little forward slash. The forward tilt will be a sort of a dash. This is one of the main movements to get around, sort of like any kind of platformer, you'll usually see this kind of a dash. The down tilt would be the dream nail. Now, I'm not going to go into spoilers here, but it plays a part in the story, but it's essentially going to be a really short range swing, for our purposes, more powerful than the regular neutral attack. Then the up tilt would be just sort of upward slash with the nail, just like the neutral. The air attacks are going to be pretty similar to the tilts. Here you're going to have a neutral slash forward, you're going to have an up slash, which are both very similar to, the neutral tilts. And then you're going to have a down air, which is very similar to the up air. But one of the cool things about the down air is that when you do it on top of an enemy, it'll give you a sort of a bounce back up, which is a reference to, in Hollow Knight, a lot of the times you might need to get around by bouncing off of things by attacking them at the last second. The only major difference between the airs and the tilts is going to be this forward air, which is the Shade Cloak from the game. Now in the game, this would allow you to pass through attacks, but for our purposes, it'll just be sort of like the forward tilts where he dashes forward, only covering a little more distance in the air. The smash attacks. Now for the down smash and the forward smash, these are both going to be what are known as nail arts in Hollow Knight. The forward smash here is the Great Slash, and the down smash is the Cyclone Slash. In the game, these are special attacks that you can learn from people throughout the world. There's one more in the game that didn't really fit as well, I don't think. But the Cyclone Slash will be a sort of a spin around, hitting people to your side in a pretty decent area. And the Great Slash will just be a forward attack that's just really big, bigger than Hollow Knight himself, slash, that really has a lot of power behind it. Now, his up smash was a little tougher, but I decided to go with the Howling Wraiths. That was actually one of his spells that he would do in the game, where it sort of has these souls jump out from above him, blasting out in different directions. Now, you might notice a little bit of this is black as opposed to the rest of it being white. So my thought process here was that each of the spells in Hollow Knight has its default version, and then has another darker version that you can unlock later in the game through finding something or doing something. So for the Howling Wraiths, you can unlock something similar called the Abyss Shriek in Hollow Knight. So here I'm going to have it that if Hollow Knight is at 100% damage or more, sort of how Lucario gets stronger with more damage, if he hits that 100% bar, all of his spell attacks, and you'll see more of these later, will go from the normal white version, so the Howling Wraiths, to the Abyss Shriek, which will be bigger, darker, and do decent bit more knockback than the Howling Wraiths would do. So for the specials, I'm going to have a mix of the spells you get in the game and also some of the items you get. So for the neutral special, that's going to be the Vengeful Spirit, and then for the down special, that'll be the Desolate Dive. These are two of the spells you unlock, with the Vengeful Spirit being a forward blast, just this ball of soul, and the Desolate Dive being this downward crash to the ground. Now again, these are both going to be spells, so if you hit that 100% damage marker, then you will unlock the Shade Soul and the Descending Dark, which are going to be similar but darker, more knockback blasts. Then for the up air, I'm going to make that the Mothwing Cloak, which lets you sort of jump higher into the air. Now this you'll be able to do in a direct upward or at an upward angle, and it'll just be this sort of like air dash. Not like a huge recovery, largely because his forward special is going to be one of his best recoveries, as well as his forward tilt and his forward air having a little bit of distance to them as well. Now the forward special is the Crystal Heart. This is something that lets you just blast forward, and you will continue to fly forward pretty much until you hit to stop it. So it's something you do actually have to be a little bit careful of, that you don't go flying off the edge, because it's a pretty quick dash through the air. And of course, the final smash. Now this one I had a lot more trouble coming up with than some of the past final smashes, and in fact, I had more trouble with this than anything else in his movesets. I wanted it to be something big and cool that would really bring the feel of the game, but without spoiling anything, and that's where it got hard. Here I decided to introduce Hornet. Now, Hornet is a character who's pretty mysterious throughout the game. You don't really know much about her at first, and you try to learn her backstory. She uses this sort of needle, like a sewing needle, and has like a thread behind it. So I figured I'll have that come in and have her jump in and tie up whoever's in front of you real quick, lock them in place. And once the opponent is in place, your shade comes out. Now the shade is something that appears every time you die in the game. You leave behind a little shade, sort of like Dark Souls, but if the souls you lost then tried to attack you when you came to reclaim them. So once the enemy is wrapped up here, your shade just starts wailing on them repeatedly over and over again until you get a final sort of smack and you send them flying. So that about wraps up Hollow Knight. Now, do I think he's going to appear in Smash? Not really. It's pretty rare that third-party indie games get into Smash at all. Like, we saw Shovel Knight as a assist trophy, and Shovel Knight was like the most requested indie character for Smash Brothers. So if he's not playable, Hollow Knight's not really gonna have a chance. That being said, Hollow Knight was also exclusive, or console exclusive, to Switch for a long time, and it's only now they've announced it's gonna eventually come to other systems. But it is a game that's pretty associated with Switch about as much as it is PC, so don't get your hopes up, but don't rule it out for someday.